This is the 2025 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLC S E-Performance. Is it the ultimate daily super SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I borrowed this GLC from my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport. If you want to know more about this model, check out the link down in the description of the video. Being that this is the coupe version, that means it's going to have that sloped rear, so you're gonna have a little bit of less cargo space, but you know what? I think it's worth it in the respect of having more of an aggressive and racy look. I wouldn't even call it sporty as much as I would call it racy. It definitely fits on this particular model. Here on the front end, you will find your full LED lighting, LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and something that I know a lot of people like to know about, the LED turn signal indicators are here too. So if you're wondering, some people say, well, are the turn signal indicators LED? Now you have your answer to that. Your AMG logo here on the grille. Everything here is active. Not a big surprise, but nice to see. There's no faux vents or anything like that. And I don't know how well you can see it, but you will have the air that comes through here. You've got an air curtain. It's going to allow air to pass through this area of the front end. But a very aggressive look overall. 4MATIC all-wheel drive. It's gonna make for a great driving experience. 21-inch wheels. What do you think about this wheel style? Very much complemented by the red brake calipers with the AMG logo. And as we work our way up here to the side view mirrors, you will have the body color. And we're going to have turn signal indicators built in. They're going to be heated. They're going to be power adjustable. They're going to have blind spot monitoring built in. And let's see if we can get this to work for you real fast here. I'm going to push the button right there, and you'll find out that they're also going to be power folding. So everything is here as far as your side view mirrors go that I know a lot of you like to have. You will have your assist steps right there. I'm not sure that that's as necessary here, but it does give it a little bit of a nicer look because it makes it look a little bit lower to the ground with those assist steps being there. We'll finish things off here with our nice sporty look on the rear, including our rear spoiler. You're gonna have the nicely done LED taillights, your AMG logo. You'll notice the GLC 63S logo is outlined in red, signifying that this is the E-Performance version. And something else, once again, no faux vents here, no exhaust outlets, I should say. These are going to be active. Under the hood is the handcrafted 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And you might think, oh, really? That's it? I can understand that. Yes, I would rather have a V8 under the hood, have the sound, but you will definitely have the performance. Check this out, 671 horsepower, 752 pounds-feet of torque mated to the 9-speed automatic transmission. This SUV, if you tell people, oh, it just has a 4-cylinder under the hood and they don't know what they're actually looking at or what this is all about, you are going to definitely drop some jaws. People won't know what to do when you take off and leave them standing still in their vehicles thinking, oh, it's a 4-cylinder. I can take them easily. 0 to 60 will come in about 3.4 seconds. Top speed is going to be an electronically limited 171 miles per hour. And how about the MPGEs? Combining electricity and gasoline, we're looking at 31 miles combined. 1.7 gallons per every 100 miles driven as far as your gasoline goes, and 51 kilowatt hours per every 100 miles driven. On gasoline only, if you behave yourself, combined we're looking at 20 miles per gallon and 5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And here is your remote. You'll have unlock, lock. You can open and close the power tailgate right here, which we're going to do. Now you'll notice that there's no remote start. That doesn't mean it's not here. It's just not on the remote. It's going to be in the Mercedes Me app. Cargo capacity will range between 13.8 cubic feet with the rear seats folded up. When you fold the rear seats down, you're looking at 47.1 cubic feet. Now you have your cargo cover right here that is removable, by the way, so if you need to take that out to allow for more space to fit things in here, that's what you're going to need to do. One thing that's a little bit of a surprise to me is that you don't have LED cargo lighting here in this area of the vehicle. Now you can also let your seat backs down with the release right here, and right here. I just already put those down so they were ready. When we open to this area, you also have a 12-volt power outlet for connectivity. And another feature that I like is when you lower your seat backs, you can put the seat belt right in there in that little notch that's been cut out for it to keep it out of the way. That just makes things a lot easier. The exterior color on this model is Obsidian Black Metallic, and it's going to have a black Napa leather interior, plenty of room with the armrest right here. You can control the window, raising and lowering the window right here. You can see your speaker and the door bin right here. The red seat belts do help to break things up a little bit. We'll hop on inside, and one thing that is nice if you need it, see the release right there, that's what I just pushed on. You can lower the middle seat back by itself and create a pass-through. So if that's ever needed, it's nice to know that it's there. You can also accidentally have the seat on the passenger side there fold down because you didn't lock it in place. But you can have your cup holders here and your fold-down armrest, all that good stuff. There's your panoramic sunroof that does open. You have the power shade that can be drawn forward when needed. And we'll also have our rear air conditioning vents, a couple of seat pockets, one on the back of each seat. And for those of you who are patient enough to wait until this point in the video, the sticker price is $104,060. If you need the $60, I'll loan it to you, I promise. We'll take a look at the animated graphics that come up when you hop inside, just to show you what's here. It's part of what you're paying for, so you might as well see it and see what's going on. A very nice modern look with the driver's display, but in the event that you want to change that, you actually can do that, and I'm going to show you how to do it right here. So all I did was hit home right there. We're going to do that one more time, and we can scroll over to different looks depending on what we want. If we want sport, we can do that. There's actually quite a few you can choose from. I'm not going to take a lot of time and go through every single one, but just to show you what's going on here. If you want your navigation, obviously you can have that on there. Quite a few different options depending on your driving situation or your mood, just what you want to see. We're going to put track pace up there. That's one of the coolest things about this Mercedes-Benz is that it is track ready, and it has some very cool features and functionality that you can use on the track and should probably only use on the track instead of on the street. Now, I know you can't see it very well, but there is a head-up display. And here on the driver's side door panel, we're going to find this on the driver and passenger sides. We're going to have all of our controls for our seats with the exception of the control that is on the seat, which is going to be for your lumbar support. So if you need to adjust that, you can. Seat memory, that's going to be on the driver and passenger sides. And then everything here for our side view mirrors, windows, all that good stuff is going to be here. Here's where you're going to manage your lighting. If you want to turn that on or just set it to auto, you can do that. Your power parking brake is right here. Not sure how well you can see that. Let me see if I can give you a good view. And the control right here is for adjusting your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And your steering wheel mounted controls allow for adjusting things just like I showed you here on the driver's display or over here on the center display. I'll just hit the button right there and you can see that. A very comfortable steering wheel. And a few things that you can do with the steering wheel right here. Depending on what you want to do, you can make changes to what's going on with the vehicle. You can push the buttons right there depending on what you want to do and what you need to see. And then you have your different driving modes. Now, as I rotate the dial right here, it's also going to go through, and I'll just show you everything as we do it in here. In fact, we'll go all the way back to a couple of the different modes so you can see what's going on. As I rotate the dial, you'll have the accompanying graphics for each mode. We'll go into sport mode. We'll also have Sport Plus. You can hear the change in the exhaust note. At least I hope that's picking up off of my lapel mic. It may not sound like what I know I would like to have, but you know what? It still gets the job done. Now here is your race mode. Now there is a lot going on here that you can do with this mode. And this is where you're going to actually be able to go and make changes to what you can do as far as your timing goes, lap timing, drag race, all that. And to get to that screen, we're going to come right here. We're going to go to track pace. So if we go right there, now you'll see you're going to get this warning that's basically telling you not to do this on the street. So just so you know, that's how it works. But you have your road course set up right here. Everything that you can do with that, pretty easy to deal with. You got drag race, it's going to do the same thing and tell you what's going on and let you know. Don't do that on the street. Keep everybody safe out there. But it's very easy to use. And for those who are saying, you know what, Tom, I'd rather not have my eyes on the center screen when I'm about to take off at full power. Well, you don't have to. You'll be able to see the same thing right here on the driver's display. But there is so much going on here that we could do one full video on this area alone. Now you have your telemetry right here. Any of you that know anything about the sport of drag racing, it's kind of like having a race pack on your Mercedes-Benz, and you can see some of the information that it gives me right there. It'll give us a lot more if we're out driving. We're not going to drive real hard, obviously, because, well, some of you may be planning to come in and buy this GLC 63, and I don't want you to say, well, I was going to buy it until you overdrove it, Tom, so we're not going to do that. But you can see the screen here, your nice large display. You're going to have your built-in navigation, and so much going on here that makes things easy to deal with. You're going to have your Apple CarPlay, as you can see right there. Got your browser. You also have performance. You want to see that right there. Hit the pedal just a little bit to show you some of the details that come up on the screen. Nice graphics, live data. There is a lot that you can take a look at here. Very nice, very well done. A lot of very interesting technology here, depending on what you want to see and what you want to know about. Our energy flow is going to be right here. Nobody does it like Mercedes-Benz, no matter what we're talking about. And we also have our controls here for our air conditioning. Now, here's the thing that I like. While I prefer physical controls for air conditioning and things like that, you do have the MBUX here where you can ask for assistance with Mercedes and say, hey, Mercedes.
Yes?
I'm cold.
I'm increasing the temperature to 64 degrees.
And you can actually do the same thing I just did and say set the temperature to 60 degrees if you wanted to, or whatever the case is. You can do all of that. In fact, there's a lot of information you can ask for here. You do go down to as low as 60 degrees. In fact, it actually goes to low right there, as you can see. But that's one of the great things about this technology, is that you can ask for help. Let's do this. Hey, Mercedes.
How can I help?
What can I ask you?
I can do things for you whenever you want, such as calling someone, writing text messages, or playing music. Because my heart's in it, I know everything there is to know about driving in your vehicle. For example, you can tell me, hey Mercedes, drive me home. Or ask, hey Mercedes, is there congestion on my route? You can also tell me if you're too warm, too cold, or if you're bored or hungry. My goal is to constantly evolve in order to give you the best possible support. Every now and again, just ask me if I've learned anything new. I'm looking forward to hearing from you and wish you a pleasant journey as always.
It was a long answer, but you know what? That gives you the answer to that question for those who may want to know. And if you need to see what's going on around your Mercedes, we're going to push that button right there. This will also come up when you go into reverse, and you'll be able to see what's going on around you. Now, here is your rear view right here. We're going to go to our front view, and then we have the view from each side. Very easy to see all around the vehicle, and we're finished right there. We can do that. And like I said, when you go into reverse, you're also going to have your views come up automatically, including that overhead view right there. Very clear, by the way. Looks very nice. Very easy to learn and use technology. I know it may seem like a lot, and you might say, Tom, I'll never use all of that, but you might be surprised at what you end up doing with this available technology. Depending on what you need to turn on and off, we're going to push this button. I'm going to make sure you see what that is, and here's what's going to come up. If you don't see your head-up display, make sure that you turn that on. So when you see that little red bar right there, the red light that basically is an indicator telling you that it's on, well, then you know what's going on. Now, it's not going to automatically put snow chains on your vehicle, but if you do have them on, you need to turn that on right there. So, a very interesting thing. Quite a few features here. You can see what you turn on and off, and when you're ready to go home, we just go right there. Easy to do. You're managing your radio right here. You can mute. You can adjust the volume right there. And We have this area that has our cup holders. There's some connectivity right there. You also have your wireless charging pad down here. And inside of the center console, you pull this little area out right here, and you can see what else we have in the way of USB connectivity and a little bit more space within. Here is our upper console for those who might want to know what exactly is here. This is where you're going to manage your power shade for the sunroof and the sunroof itself. It is an interesting thing to deal with. So we're going to open that up right there. You can see how easy that is. You just slide your finger and it automatically goes back. And in my opinion, nobody does ambient lighting as well as Mercedes-Benz. In fact, you have quite a few different options that you can choose from. As you can see, you can have several presets here that will allow for a multitude of colors, or we can go right here and we can just choose a singular color. Now you can see how bright that gets. That gets really bright. In fact, there are a total of 64 different colors that you can choose from, and you can see everything that is very well lit here. The blues tend to show up on screen with the camera. It seems better than any other color. So I'm going to show you that. You'll also have some in the back seat, as you can see right there. And it's just as easy as selecting whatever color we want. But you can see what's going on here. I hope it shows up on the camera as well as it does in person. And let me show you one thing that's very interesting here. A lot of people ask me, how tall of a person can be comfortable in the driver's seat, whether they're really tall or not so much. Well, you can have everything set for you automatically. In fact, according to this, it looks like somebody that's 7'3" could fit. I don't know how realistic that is, but you can see it ranges between 4'9" and 7'3" as far as the height goes. That's very interesting. All right, here we go on the test drive. Now, depending on how you want things to feel, well, you can go with the different drive modes. As far as going with comfort, you're going to have the most comfortable ride quality. I'm in Sport Plus right now, and you can see that I have some detail on the screen for you to see. I hope you can see that well enough, but that's obviously not the main focus here. But I figured I would have something on the screen for you to look at. So we're going to get on it just a little bit here. Don't want to get on it too hard or go too fast, but maybe you could hear those exhaust crackles. I wasn't even maybe a little beyond quarter throttle right there to do what I just did. And I'll tell you what, this GLC 63 does everything it can. If you hit the pedal hard enough, you drop it to the floor, it's going to try to pick the front end up. All that torque, it gets up and goes in a hurry. It would be a lot of fun to drive something like this when it was fully broken in, and it wouldn't be a problem to go full throttle and see how it goes going down the road. You might get another chance at a little bit of an acceleration here. I think we're going up here on to our next road, and here we go. Let's have a little bit of fun, but be realistic about it. As much as I'd love to have a V8, I'll tell you what, when you step on the throttle, you step on the gas pedal, you forget what you have under the hood. It's almost as if you can't really hear it all of a sudden. You're getting that great feel of acceleration, and you realize, wow, it's not lacking in that area at all. And it's also practical for a daily driver. It's not about just stepping on the pedal all the time, even though that is a lot of fun. Practical daily driving, also a good thing here. Seating for 5 people, plenty of room here in the front seat. Now with that sloping roof line in the back, yeah, depending on your height, you might want to call a shotgun or maybe grab the remote, get in the driver's seat right here and enjoy driving. But you're going to have the most headroom up here, obviously, with this particular configuration. So depending on your situation, you know, this could really make for a great daily driver. We're going to step on it one more time here. Not too hard, but I tell you what, it's just so hard not to do that. Once you own something like this for a little while, I think you get that out of your system. You won't be out there doing that on a regular basis. But on the test drive here, it's a different situation. But an easy to manage brake and gas pedal. Obviously, depending on the driving mode you're in, you're going to have phenomenal handling characteristics and have no trouble making it through the turns, whatever you're doing. If you're having a tough day and you need to go out and have that spirited drive, not an issue. The brake pedal and the gas pedal, very easy to adjust to. That's always nice. For me, that says a lot because I come from an HD truck, a GMC 2500 as my daily driver. And so it's not the most responsive when it comes to the braking because, well, it's a large, heavy vehicle. And to go from that to something like this that's small and light and has high performance braking capabilities, and to be able to adjust just like that, that says a lot as far as that goes. Now, I haven't tested the shifter paddles out, but I guarantee you that's going to give you a very enjoyable experience, as feeling more involved in driving. It's unfortunate that there are so few vehicles out there with manual transmissions anymore. This is about as close as we get in a lot of cases. There's still some out there, but you're definitely not going to find this kind of horsepower in those situations for the most part, as far as your 2025 vehicles go. Now, the one thing that is something to consider here, if you're wondering if you should go with the coupe or the SUV version, is the back window. Visibility. I can see out of the back window, but I kind of have to move my head down just a little bit, as you see right there. That makes a difference to be able to see or not see as well further back. Now, things that are a little bit closer, a little bit easier to see, but that is something that you want to take a good look at. Get out there and test drive something like this if you're planning to buy one, because it's not a very large window, and with that slope, it does make a difference. But you can see out of it, and depending on your height and where you set the seat, it might be absolutely no problem at all. Okay, tell me what you think about this Mercedes-Benz GLC 63. I'm not going to say the whole name again. That is a mouthful. But is it the ultimate performance daily SUV? It definitely has a lot going for it, very practical. Tell me what you like and tell me what you don't like. I'm always curious to receive your feedback on such things. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning me this GLC for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would, please share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.